Okay, we're talking about teamwork characteristics, team norms, cohesiveness, team size, team conflict, and the stages of team development. And we're just going to go through those here. So team norms. What are team norms? These are the informally agreed upon standards of regulated behavior. It really is indicative of how the team's going to work every day and how effective they're going to be. They're actually like amazingly important. Some of them are negative and some of them are positive. Hopefully, as a team manager, you can notice what's going on in your team and promote the positive norms and reduce the negative norms. When I was on a team with IBM, we're flying out to Florida. So you get there and you begin to understand that part of the norms is you get there before 8, usually 10 minutes before 8. Even if you get there like 5 minutes before 8, you get some side looks. Another thing is you wear slacks or a skirt, unless you're a guy, and a button-up or a button shirt. When you're flying, you can get away with a polo shirt. Otherwise, it's usually a button-up shirt. These are just standard IBM consultant type of wear. We had this guy named Bart who was really good at what he did. A friend of mine, I worked with him later, and even in Germany we hung out. But there at PAL in Florida, he came in with jeans. The first day, he flew in, it's jeans. Excuse me. Then the team lead pulled him aside and said, hey, on this deployment, on this team, you don't wear jeans. The next day he came in jeans. And she let it go. The next week he comes back and he wears jeans. By the end of the week, a lot of the other people on the team, I actually didn't care that much. I was kind of new to the team, but the other team members were upset, and he was actually removed from the team. He was an internal IBM employee, so he got placed on another team, but he wasn't obeying the team norms. So little things like that can disrupt the effectiveness. It's like how snoring disrupts your sleep, right? And it affects the team cohesion. And this is how well do we get along, and you can tell if a team is really cohesive, especially on like a consulting team, is how often do they get together after work to hang out. So a really cohesive team likes hanging out and working together. And you'll actually, there's like a joke, the people will actually become so cohesive that they end up becoming boyfriend, girlfriend, and get married and that kind of stuff. So these are some of the things you can do to help your team be cohesive. Make sure that all team members are present at all activities. Part of that is that social loafing, and or this kind of discrepancy in rank or hierarchy, which you're trying to get rid of hierarchy on a team. But if people sometimes show up for meetings and sometimes don't, what are they so important that they don't have to show up for meetings? Right? And if they don't show up for meetings, whoever's leading the meeting needs to make sure that everyone else on the team knows why, so we don't get this kind of angst. Create additional opportunities for teammates to work together. So that's more not on a consulting team, but like in a business team, you might have teammates that work in a work cell together. Well, there might be other projects that they can do together, and by that continued working together, that builds that cohesiveness. Engage in non-work activities. So, go out for hikes, go out for breakfast, go for dinner, happy hour, that kind of thing. And then make employees feel that they're a part of a special organization. One of the things that that I read that really has stuck with me is one of these CEOs that worked for GM. He said that part of a leader's job and a manager's job is to help their employees or the people on their team know that they're winning or how they're going to win. And that helps them feel special. Also, you can build these norms of working late, working after hours, making sure everyone gets their stuff in on time, because that's the type of team we are. We get things done, and that makes people feel special too. The opposite can happen too if there's this kind of feeling of we wait to the last minute. That can make people feel not so special. So be very cognizant of your norms, because that can really affect your cohesiveness. Team size matters. Now, for your SWOT analysis, I'm recommending a team of 3 to 6. And we'll go into team size. So if a very small group might lack the diversity to come up with good ideas and a good project, too big of a group, and you have logistics problems, you have social loafing, and it can actually get out of hand. So we want the diversity in skill and knowledge, and versus social loafing and logistics. Now, for your SWOT analysis, the more you get, the less people are going to be able to share that knowledge, especially if you're taking it online. So having a smaller group actually increases the diversity of thought that comes into your team project. That's why I say 3 to 6. And when people email me and say, hey, we have 6 and there's another one that wants to join, I say cut it into 2 groups. Go down to 3 and 4, because you'll have a better product. Right? So you really have to understand the diversity of thought and input versus the logistic nightmares. Okay, team conflict. There's 2 types of conflict. Cognitive conflict, we've talked about this before. This is rational disagreement. Where effective conflict is more of an emotional, your mama instead of the problem type of conflict. And we want to help people have C-type conflict. I think one of the greatest quotes I've read in here is this guy talking about the conflict that he has in his team group. He says, we scream a lot, and then we laugh, and then we resolve the issue. In other words, it's okay. In fact, we want to encourage having really coming to terms with stuff. Having the good fight. One of the ways we have the good fight is we have as much information available to as many people as possible. We want to encourage a lot of alternative ideas and solutions to a problem. We want to make sure that everyone is agreed upon what goals we're trying to achieve. And sometimes we'll get into a fight and we'll say, hey, wait, why are we talking about that? Does that really help us get to our goal? If it's not important, it's not worth arguing about. Inject humor. One of the best things about the first team I worked on outside after I got, in my internship, MBA internship, one of the best things is somebody brought in a bag of Laffy Taffy. And when things got stressful, I'd start pulling candy. And I wouldn't eat it, I would just read it to the group. And some of it was stupid, as Laffy Taffy is, and we laughed at those too. How stupid is it? Really stupid. But it was kind of fun, and it relieved some of the tension that comes with fatigue and just the grind, right? Maintain a balance of power. We don't want hierarchies. You're going to see a video later about hierarchy and how that can really hurt motivation by Malcolm Gladwell, the Google Zeitgeist video. Then resolve issues without forcing consensus. Right? Sometimes we want to force consensus, I think, but I get it. Okay. I think we're going to go through one more slide. The stages of team development. Let me look at that. No, in fact, I'm going to stop and we'll do that later. Okay, so I'll start with this stages of team development.